I'm Natalie Kruse. I'm an assistant professor in environmental studies at OU. I teach and do research and work in the community in a lot of different environmental issues. You know, we do a lot of science, but we look at science and how it impacts communities and how we can kind of work together as a region or as a community to solve some of these big environmental problems or questions. So it'd be something like, how do we make this treatment system better? Or how do we get fish back in the stream? The major one that I work on is acid mine drainage. It's got a really long legacy of coal mining in this region. It's created a really big environmental impact for people who are maybe a generation or two off of coal mining. It's this long legacy that we're now dealing with. When we mine coal, we expose all sorts of different rocks besides just coal that are meant to be buried. And they want to be buried, they want to be away from water, and they want to be away from air. One of those is pyrite, or fool's gold. And when fool's gold and air and oxygen react together, they create sulfuric acid and rust. And fish don't like to live in sulfuric acid or rust. So essentially what you get is kind of a rusty layer of iron, basically, on the bottom of your stream and very acidic water. And so we pretty much kill everything off. I think I was about 10 or 11, and there was a geology professor that lived around the corner from me. She took me and my little brother out to a few abandoned coal mines. And we took water samples and we did little tests and things like that, and did this whole kind of water education day actually out in New Straitsville through the Monday Creek Restoration Project. And I was captured. I just, you know, until then I didn't really know that this was right in my backyard, and so it became a problem to solve. I think having a scientific mind really is about what steps you can take to solve a problem and how you do that in a logical and reproducible way so you can solve a problem or answer a question in a way that you can really defend and say this is an answer or this is the answer. Find the problems that you think need to be solved and go do something about it. Volunteer for rural action, or volunteer for a watershed group, or pitch in and pick up trash on the side of the road. Go and do something and find what your passion is. In my type of career, generally you want to get a PhD. That said, there are a lot of people that I work with who have a whole variety of different educational backgrounds. Everything from people who have, you know, a 2-year degree from Hawking College who have done natural resources management or wildlife management, up to other people with PhDs in engineering or geology or geography. There are 2 directions that I would take. One is, you know, get out and volunteer. Go and do something. Figure out, you know, an organization, whether it's a watershed group or rural action or a school group, that you can go and volunteer and do hands-on stuff. You know, go and make a difference, because that's really meaningful and something that sticks with you for a really long time. Come up with your own experiments. Create small-scale things, or answer questions that you have. Don't wait for somebody else to tell you the answer. Go figure it out. I think it's the fact that we're actually making a difference. We actually have measurable improvements in our water quality and measurable improvements in the biological communities in our streams. And that's pretty amazing. Fieldwork really makes it. I mean, you can look at numbers all day, but they really mean something when you've seen it and when you've gotten your hands dirty and when you've collected that data, because you really can put those together to create a really full picture. There are people that work for water companies or for Ohio Department of Natural Resources. There's a lot of jobs with watershed groups, so watershed coordinators who really, you know, focus on a single watershed and the work that's happening there. Some civil engineering jobs where you design and you oversee the construction of treatment systems. There's a whole range of different things that you can do. There's lots of fun to be had. I think what you have to do is you have to go back to what you really care about and what you're passionate about and the reason why you're going into that career in the first place. You go back to that and figure out why you're doing it, and even though something may have discouraged you, you've got a really strong reason. You get back outside and you go again.